Hello, everybody, and welcome to SteakDora the Explorers REBBL Season 14, REL 1 and 2A div reviews. This is week 2 on our regularly scheduled time now, instead of our weird pre-cap and then week 1 that happened like real close together last week. This is the sort of standard when we will be doing things. Time, roughly, maybe plus or minus 30 minutes or so, depending on people's schedules. This is week 2. We'll be taking a look at how our predictions went from last week, as well as how the matches went. We'll be doing some predictions for next week. And normally what we'd be doing now is reviewing one of the matches that happened last week. But it just so happens that a game from this week is going on right now between Superfed and Acropolis. So it's Dreams of Golden Streams versus Dazed and Confused. So we're going to just jump in and watch that one as it happens as part of the cast. And then we'll do our regularly scheduled things. So it might be a little bit longer because live game is going to take a bit longer than pre-recorded game. But there you go. What can you do? I think I just lost Shadorra. Hello.
Hi, sorry, I clicked on the thing and it took me away.
Okay, there we go. So we're gonna watch this game live because it's happening. It's not normally what we do, but it happens to be going on at this time, so we might as well do it.
Yeah, and everyone is going to be watching it anyway, so
might as well. You want to just do it?
Yeah, let's go.
Is this the right scene? It should do it. All right, so we're paused right at the beginning, so we'll watch the first few turns as replay, and then we'll catch up to live eventually. You ready to go?
Yep. Yeah.
3, 2, 1, play. We sure are. Oh, is it doing the thing where it's broken again?
No, I think it just pauses for a bit because of the kickoff. Because it's doing the same thing to me, but I think it's going to do the kickoff event in a sec.
Okay, well, let's just see what happens. Give it a minute. I've not
I just hit next and then it goes, I think. Just hit next and then it'll go.
I did. There we go. Okay, perfect. I have not done the weird live replay thing before. So this is before technically we've made our predictions, but before we looked at the game in progress, we both took a quick look at the team and thought Superfed probably had the advantage here. There's not a whole lot of tackle. There's one for the Nurgle, and really what Nurgle dislike is speed, and that's what more than agi, and that's what rats are. It's just the speed is so much more difficult for the Nurgle to deal with than anything else.
Changing weather, nice. Alright, so we've got only 2 rerolls for the Nurgle. We've got 1 fame for the rats.
I see 3.
Oh, yeah, why did that show us 2 when I first... whatever.
And the Nurgle are actually down TV against the rats because of all the loners, etc. But not by very much. The Nurgle have just picked up a Babe. There's not really much you can get. Babe's not going to help that much, I would imagine. But it's something.
Just jams the beast in there because Lord knows the rats can't get strength 6 down.
Not with the guard behind him.
Yeah, that's going to be tough. Ooh, fails the 3+ pickup and doesn't cover the ball before doing this. I think this was a little bold.
Yeah, if you fail that, the rats just pick it up.
Yeah, pretty much. Well, I mean, you have to get the beast off of this rat, but you'd even consider red dyeing it at that point. So I would have liked to see a little bit more care given to the ball. It's the only thing that matters in this game, or in this matchup in particular. So
yeah, so so the rat that is based up on the beast has Juggernaut. I guess that beast doesn't have Stand Firm, so it doesn't really matter. But you're pretty happy to just uphill this. He doesn't have block.
Yeah, so it's currently no. I mean, it's going to be a red dye no matter what. It's not a triple red dye, and he does red dye it, and he gets it off. Wink.
There you go. Good enough. Without Stand Firm, you just do that. If he had Stand Firm, you would have had to have done that.
First action, red dye. That's fun, right?
Yeah, but you need
going for the ball. Here we go.
You kind of needed to get that done.
No fear from Superfed.
Rats are dumb.
Rats are dumb. That was a 2+3+3+3+2+1 die.
I mean, the
terrible scatter for the rats, though, it must be said. So
like the Nurgle could have covered up the ball a bit before they tried to pick it up, and then have not moved as far forward once they picked it up, so that they could try to get together with their team next turn. But the problem is then the rats just sort of like do what they're doing now, but split you from your own team, and it's also annoying.
G5 hears you. G5 just doesn't care. This is a lot of dodges.
I mean,
okay.
There you go.
This is what happens when rats don't roll 2s. Oh, punts it to the backfield.
There you
what
go.
a turn for the rats. God damn.
I hate rats. I hate rats so much.
I mean, that was a gross rat turn even by rat standards, and I, play them, so... That was what? I mean, there was a series of 3+s in there with built-in rerolls, and then there was a 2+, 2+, 3+, 3+, 3+, 2+, 2+, 2+, 2+, all without rolling a single one.
I mean, you would have expected him to have to have used a reroll in there somewhere, but I mean, other than that, it's not actually that bad.
The movement 8 gutter runner is fine. Nurgle can't recover this, so they have no way really to stop Carter Cruz from just 3+, 2+ing, picking up the ball and running to space.
This is
now you could put a Rodder up there to make this a little harder, but with movement 10, he can get through pretty easily.
This is why Nurgle really hate just the speed, right? Because the moment they lose any control over the game, like if there's any one turn like that last one just happened, they suddenly go from, I have a reasonable chance to this game is over and there's nothing I can do about it, because they're so slow compared to the rats that they just literally cannot do anything once the rats have like made things messy. Like the Nurgle, like they could have played their last turn differently, I guess, but now that it's happened, there's literally nothing they can do.
So now you just can't... Can he blitz off this? I guess he doesn't need to necessarily if he does the recovery with the Agi 5. But the Agi 5 does have to go through tackle a little bit. Not that that's going to stop him, but, theoretically it could be a problem.
I mean, the one-turner can go out the back and around and straight to the end zone while having to make 2 dodges and like 2 GFIs. And then the Agi 5 guy just picks up and throws it to him and you score. Like, there's like 4 dice involved in scoring right now if he really wants to.
He does, probably. So Fed trying to get his killer off of the Beast of Nurgle there, but didn't need it because he got the knockdown, so it's kind of like a mixed bag.
You might be ahead of me then? That blitz had nothing to do with the Beast of Nurgle.
No, it was blitzing onto a Rodder, but... Oh, goes right through, picks up the ball, and scores.
Yep.
Rats are dumb. No, he blitzed the Rodder in such a way that if he had gotten a push, he could have used the killer as a follow-up block to get off of the Beast.
Oh, I see what you mean, yeah. I wasn't paying attention to that. I just saw the blitz, and then the result. I didn't see what he was blitzing.
So 1-0 to the Rats after their defensive turn 2.
Yep.
Not a bad start.
Not at all. I mean, like, the thing is, what the Nurgle probably should have done on turn 1 is, like, covered up the ball first, and then sort of, like, built, like, a stupid cage, like, immediately at where the ball was, rather than the kind of, like, loose 3/4 cage they had. But the Rats could theoretically have done the same thing there, just it would have been a little bit harder, and that may have been enough to make Superfed not think he could accomplish it, right?
Yeah, it was a bold move to kind of split off your ball from your offensive line. I understand that you were trying to maximize blocks. I'm not actually sure why he cut so hard to the left. It did just leave him kind of isolated. And yeah, if the Rats have even a decent shot,
well, he was trying to get himself into a cage by going over there.
From the Nurgle. Yeah, but I don't think he had to.
The players in the middle had already moved forward, so like he didn't really have that much space, or didn't have anywhere nice to go.
Well, Dubskull resulted in an injury at least, so
that's something. I mean, so it's not lost. Certainly, it's really annoying that happened because now the like best outcome that you're probably going to get out of this is being down 2-1 at the end of your half. But if you can score on turn 8 and get a bunch of injuries along the way, considering Superfed has no bench, that's not terrible, especially since the Nurgle are actually surprisingly okay at making the natural one turn difficult, because the catch actually becomes a problem when you just put Disturbing Presence everywhere, and the Rats have to catch on a 3+ on their one turner rather than like the 2+ then just score.
And see, like this, I think I understand the desire to kind of block this off, but I feel like you're only applying pressure to one piece from the Rats, when you really want to be applying it to more. You want to be hitting more of these pieces so that you have a credible series of follow-up blocks. Rats struggle really hard when their line rats and all their other agi pieces start to get tied up. And right now you're tying up one when you could be basing up this loner. You could be doing a lot more with your pieces, I think, and even putting pressure on the gutters themselves.
Once you kind of get through the line rat armor, then the gutters are a lot easier to get hits on, and then that's pretty scary as the rat coach.
It's also true, of course, that the killer is extremely exposed here and is about to get the shit kicked out of him.
Absolutely. But once again, right, the ball is not actually safe. If Superfed really wanted to.
It's decently safe. Exposed killer gets KO'd on a POW.
Hey, maybe
Mighty
the
blow,
Babe will do a thing.
Claw. Maybe. Is there there is a Babe for the Nurgle. They're gonna, they might need it. It was a pretty tough, because of this stunned line rat. It's actually pretty tough for the strength 3 piece to get in there.
Yeah, that's true. But it's just like the first turn sort of again, right? Like you pick up the ball, but you're kind of separated from your line because you put them forward. So the rats can kind of get around behind you awkwardly if they wanted to. They're not going to now because they're already up 1-0, so they don't really have to be as aggressive. But they could, because you're not
gets away from tentacles but fails to dodge. You can see a reroll there.
Bingo square.
Beast first action goes for a walk to tie up 2 pieces.
And it's a gutter runner though, and which is pretty nice to have.
Yeah, for sure. Gonna build the cage here in the midfield. I think you really want to apply as much pressure as you can. So ideally you want to be presenting the rats with very limited options.
Yeah, build the cage, base up as many rats in a way that the best they get is uphills as humanly possible, and then take your blitz on the most valuable target that you can get a hold of and call it a day. I'd move that guard rotter to the back corner now, and then I'd blitz something with probably blitz the killer rat with the mighty blow claw warrior, and then you could kind of put him out front to A, block, and then B, get pressure on one of the gutter runners next turn maybe.
Yeah, this isn't bad. Doesn't get the knockdown, unfortunately.
Slightly ahead, but that's fine. I'll catch up.
I'll pause. We're almost live, so.
Almost caught up.
Tentacles does not get him free.
Well, it's strength 6 on strength 2, so the tentacles rolls pretty hard.
Yeah, I don't actually like basing up the rotter here. I don't think it was very likely that Superfed was going to get 3 or 4 assists on this Beast of Nurgle. So this is just giving him a potential hit on this, like a 1 die there. That I don't think you needed to give. That guard rotter could have been doing something more useful than getting KO'd.
Yeah, you could have put him on the back corner and then used the loner rotter to sort of screen that corner a bit so that the rats couldn't just base it like they're about to do.
Yeah, because now you're going to see the killer get 1 died in return, and sure, it's a 1 die, but 1 dies do sometimes work. Not this time, but sometimes. 33% of the time, it works every time,
Yep. Well, slightly less because foul appearance is a thing, but...
3 die coming in immediately from just from a Nurgle Warrior. Gets a stun on a POW. Or on a both down, I should say.
Bonk.
Die from the Beast, doesn't get anything on the killer. Block dice have been going Fed's way.
I was like, why is that a 3 die? Because he's strength 6? I forgot.
Strength 6 is good.
Turns out.
Block is a skill, and a rat is out.
Oh, still slightly ahead, but we're almost live, so it doesn't matter too much. Bonk. Block is a skill. Don't forget about block, folks.
So 2 removals for the Nurgle and 2 removals for the rats. Neither team has a bench. One has a Babe. Only one of the rats is a KO. So injury games slightly favoring the rats currently. Got to be careful here with this based cage.
That's
it is
true.
possible to pop the Nurgle Warrior. Well, not easily. Very tough to possibly put the Nurgle Warrior up.
Yeah, especially with him being
we might
next
see
to the guard
instead is
beast.
just throwing in someone to take the assist away and then just going for a YOLO 5+1 die.
So you could 1 die if you take the proxy page as an assist, and then either the gutter runner or dodging out the line rat from the rotter. Although he's a loner, so it's a little scary. You could 1 die the Nurgle Warrior. and a push is good enough to open up a hole for the wrestle, tackle, strip ball, strength 3 guy to just one die the ball with wrestle, tackle, strip ball. So there's you can one die into a one die, but like all you need is a push in either one of those cases, and you have the ball on the floor. But you will, if you want to leave the 2 gutter runners, like the movement and the agi one for both recovery and running away, you'll need to use the loner line rat after having dodged out as an assist, and dodging out the loner is a little scary because it's a 3+ that you can't really reroll reliably.
You might just go for the 5+ with the built-in reroll. You don't need to. Tackle doesn't affect dodging into tackle zones, right?
No, it does not. Although nothing is happening now, so my assumption is that maybe the replay is being weird again.
No, it's live. He's just thinking. The timer's going. I see rats making noises.
Oh, there it is. I don't. Yeah. Okay. I thought it was the replay thing again.
So I think we might just go for the one die here.
So we need another
recovery
assist to make it a one die, though.
No.
The guard, if you're blocking with the... Oh, you mean like the one die cage dive?
Oh, yeah. I thought he might just go for the cage dive, but he could go for another assist here. Yeah, the problem, of course, is
this
that...
guard, Nergal Warrior.
Well, you can try the tentacles dodge first, because that's a freebie.
That's true. You could try to dodge him with tentacles and use him as the assist, and that way you have the reroll.
You can't take away this anti-assist from Pink Floyd anyway, because it's guard.
No, I was thinking about dodging the loner line rat out, but dodging the storm vermin out is better because A, you can re-roll it, and B, if you fail the tentacles, you just don't re-roll it, and you also don't turn over.
Yeah. But then, yeah, you would need to do a loner dodge. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. You don't need a GFI, though. You can just run it in.
And then you can one die with the dirty player line rat, and then the strength ball sacker rat has a one die with on the ball carrier with just a push from the rat.
Well,
there's the dodge.
Yes.
So we make the dodge, and now we can one die here.
Tentacles, not even a little bit of a real skill. Ooh, that's bad. That's good.
So we did have to use the reroll there, but that's the hardest part of this whole turn, really.
Yes, now you get a one. Well, now it's a 2. Now it's a 2+ without a reroll, and into a scatter, where a lot of the scatters are going to be 2+ pickups. Some of them are going to be 3+. As long as it doesn't scatter onto the beast, and it's only got only one scatter is the beast from. Let's see what he gets.
Well, he gets the push, down, which is the not down. So
scatter is going to be the big deal here.
Yeah,
if it scatters straight up, it's really bad. Okay, that's medium. Okay.
It could have been if it was in the square right above the Pestigore or to the right and up one. That would have been pretty hard to recover. But we can still try with the Agi.
This is a 3+ pickup. The thing it's a 3+ pickup with your hands, and then a 2+ dodge off tackle.
I think it's a 4+, isn't it?
No, he's Agi 5.
Oh right, gutter runners are normally Agi 4.
Do.
Yeah, and you just go score again.
No, he wins again. Well, no, you probably stall.
I mean, yes, you should. But yeah, that's if that actually that was the best scatter he could have gotten. I think.
Well, it could have scattered onto the Nergal Warrior and then bounced elsewhere.
I mean, I guess, but like a scatter here.
Oh, double scatter away aside. Yes.
Here was bad. Yeah. Here was bad. Here was bad. Here was bad. Like he got that was like a 2 and 8 scatter is good.
Yeah, that's fair.
And it worked like perfectly. I think it's fair to say that was a lucky scatter for
fine.
Superfed.
Not a medium scatter, a great scatter. Well, this is like Fed is pulling out some serious rat BS this so far, which is I think a big deal with rats. Like you have to be willing sometimes you have to give yourself the opportunity to have hot dice. Like Fed didn't need to go for the 3+3+3+, 2+ one die sack on turn 1. A lot of rat coaches wouldn't go for that, but Fed did because if it works out, and it does, maybe 50% of the time. I'd have to go run the numbers, but probably around 50%.
But this is why, as the Nergal team in this sort of situation, you need to play stupid safe, like almost boringly safe. Like he made one mistake last turn, and that was leaving a cage corner based, and then Superfed turned it into this half is over, right? Like so you just can't against other teams, you can do that and probably get away with it, but against a rat team with a strength rat, a movement 10 rat, and an agi rat, there's if you ever do anything that's even slightly a misstep, you just lose because they can do whatever they want.
Yep.
So you have to be ultra safe in this matchup, which is kind of annoying. But that's how you have to play it. If this was like a normal rat team, you could probably get away with it. Like, but it's definitely not a normal rat team, and it's also a rat team.
Gets Marley Brinks down.
I mean, so you need to play for damage, but you need to play for damage in the sad way, where you're playing for damage by like, who's the most important thing that I can blitz this turn with my most likely removal, and then the rest of it is like ultra safe cage, right? Like it's
because if you give the rats anything, they're gonna take it.
Yeah, and it really sucks because like if you don't get damage, you also won't win. But if you don't play safe, you get this happening.
Well, you basically need to maximize your damage without making any mistakes and without getting unlucky. And like that's a balancing act that it's particularly pronounced when you're in this matchup.
You know, and people say that like Nurgle and Chaos are brainless, and you know, it's not in some ways, because you can see how easy it is to take advantage of it if you don't play it very well.
Well,
if you have the right tool,
I think
like
people call bash matchups a little mindless, but
that's maybe a bit fair.
I don't think that's fair.
It's a bit fairer. But no, like right now you say, I've lost this drive, so I'm going to kill your players to try to force you to score, not because I'm threatening the ball, but because if you don't score, I'm going to kill this strength rat, and then you'll be sad. And hopefully you can make it so you can try to get a 2-turn, but it's a little late for that now.
Well, they're gonna have a real hard time killing the strength rat when all they're doing is forcing 2+ with built-in rerolls.
Yeah.
And they have no tackle down here.
Nope. They have no tackle on the team. They have one, and he's on the floor, surrounded by 3 rats.
He's very on the floor, yeah.
Like this is just going to be a hard match for the Nurgle. Like we saw the match at like Shadorra's like, this, they want us to cast this game because it's going on live. We should predict it really fast. And I looked at the teams and went, the rats win this 89% of the time. That was an arbitrary number, but I was going to say 98% of the time, and then my brain reversed the digits. So there you go. But like the Nurgle, this drive is over. You're hoping to finish it 2-1 for the rats, but now you're going to finish it 2-0. But hopefully you can finish it 2-0 with like a gutter runner and their Apo gone or something, and then maybe you can be happy.
8+ foul didn't get him anywhere.
I mean, now you just dodge off the other rats, because if you leave the killer on the floor, he's getting fouled.
Yep.
And if you leave the dirty player there, he's going to get blocked by Claw Mighty Blow. Not that the Claw matters, but, you know, Mighty Blow does. All the 3+.
Yeah. That's the rats this game. No real reason to score. There's no one with a credible hit on the ball. Tony can't do anything but base with 2 GFIs.
So do you take the block tackle hit on the 2-heads guy because that's the most likely knockdown, or do you take like the Mighty Blow block hit on like the dirty player because that's the most likely removal?
I think you take the hit on the gutter runner.
That's what I would do.
In the hopes of forcing the... Okay, well, he didn't do that. I think what I would have done is either... You didn't even need to blitz him if you wanted to. You could do a chain push and then dodge out, because you really, really want to force the rats to score next turn, because if you don't, you lose line blocks, and that's the biggest loss.
Yeah.
And it's going to be hard to force Superfed to score next turn, but if you... Without putting Kevin Pickford in the middle with a little bit of Rotter support, if you could manage it, which you kind of could have. You could have made it harder for him to get a 2-die. Then you are going to have a really tough time.
Has that Loner Rotter not
pressuring him in any way?
Yeah.
The Loner Rotter has a block here and could have chain pushed.
Yeah, so
the Pestigor's sort of free.
Well, you wait. So what you do is you push the Pestigor sort of free so that he's up to the
failed GFI.
I mean, yeah, why not? It's your blitz. You do it because the only thing you're getting out of this is damage, so you might as well take it. No.
Oh, Jesus Christ, Acropolis.
So what I think I would have done is you use the Rotter to chain push, like you said, and you push the Pestigore up in front of the two heads guy so that you can then blitz. You can both blitz the two heads gutter runner and free up your Pestigore simultaneously. And you get a hit on the two heads gutter runner, who's, valuable. And also you free up the tackle guy to sort of semi-pressure, like you suggested. But instead, we rolled double once.
If you don't take out the gutter runner, it's pretty easy for him to just screen off somewhere. With the three gutters he has, he can just screen off reasonably well.
Yeah. Instead, what happened is we double one.
Yeah, so we failed utterly instead. While Fed mulls out the rest of this turn, I'm gonna grab some more water.
That's fair. Well, so we still need to do something to block off this Rotter, because in that, Fed could also take the GFI here. He's got Sure Feet, so it's a 1 in 36, but it's a 1 in 36 that he doesn't technically have to roll, because he has, it's a 1 in 6, because this is off tackle, unless we block here, to dodge you out. And if we only put this guy here, can we 2, 3, 4, 5? If we only put a rat here, I guess you can screen off pretty effectively by putting a rat right here, right? And you don't have to roll anything. So we do the one GF 1 in 36 to make it so we can't blitz him at all, and then also put this rat somewhere so that nothing we can do now. If he was still here, this Rotter could have gone 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and double GFI'd to hit him, which is something. And it was kind of hard to screen off completely with just the one gutter runner or rolling dodges here, and those dodges are 1 in 6s, whereas the GFI is 1 in 36, so you might as well roll the GFI. Well, we get a KO on the Nurgle Warrior. Claw Mighty Blow doing a thing, although Claw not doing anything, it was just the Mighty Blow. Would have KO'd a tree.
Ruin the lighting a little bit.
That's fair.
Well, for the sake of staying cool. It is hot today.
What's cooler than being cool?
Ice cold.
Nice. Now we get to block the only tackle piece. We don't knock him down, though.
I think I'm replay bugged.
I don't.
I'm gonna pop out real quick.
Things aren't happening as far as I can tell, so I think I'm fine.
Yeah, no, it was just me.
And that's why we did the GFI instead of the dodge last turn, because tackle is a skill. So we'll see if he elects to reroll that. 1 reroll in 2 turns, but next turn all he's going to do is score, and there's nothing the Nurgle can do to stop him. So I think the debate here is
on an armor break basis.
Yeah.
Chooses not to reroll it.
So the Nurgle literally can't do anything other than they could roll 2 GFIs to base up the ball with a rookie Rotter, which just gives Superfed a 1 in 36 to score instead of nothing, which is, better than nothing, but it's quite literally all you can do. Can you get there with the Beast? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. No, you can't even mark him with the Beast.
Well, what you could do is you could dodge out the loner Rotter, make a block with the wrestle guy, and chain push your Pestigore into basing range, or you could just take the block.
I guess that would be better, because then it's at least a 1 in 6 instead of a 1 in 30. But at that point, you just blitz.
You could have done it with the loner to make this a 2-die, because you could do it now at this point. But I can't get into the game. It doesn't actually connect.
You could just watch the stream then, I guess.
It's trying again. Let's see.
So you could have based with a weird chain push, like you pointed out. You could have rolled double GFIs to base the gutter runner, and then you could have based the Agi 5 guy with the Rotter, which means that Superfed now has to either roll a 1 in 6, but he has the reroll saved, so it could have been a 1 in 36. Or dodge out with the gutter runner, the other gutter runner, to 1-die blitz. So that's the thing you want to do if you want to make it absolutely the most theoretically difficult for Superfed, but it turns out a 1 in 36 isn't very difficult, so it's not really a big deal.
I wonder if there was a way to double chain push there.
I don't think so.
No, because you need the blitz to do the double chain push. and obviously wanted the blitz to blitz.
Oh, we tried to use the reroll to reroll the foul appearance, but the first thing Superfed fails all game is a double one on the greed foul appearance on turn 8.
That would have been an interesting. I mean, I think Fed would have been okay with the risked snake there, because being up 1-0 going into your rat drive versus Nurgle is already a 1 game. 9 times out of 10.
So the fun thing is, because of how dice work, if he did do that weird chain push play, Fed would have won in 36th on the dodge.
Assuming he didn't just blitz, I think he could have gotten a 2-die blitz out of it, but yeah.
Well, he would have had to, if you marked the other rat with the rotter, he would have had to dodge that rat, which would have been...
That's true, yeah.
I mean, I guess theoretically those ones would have been the dodge dice for the rotter, frankly, so I guess it doesn't actually matter.
Does each player not have their own unique set of dice?
I don't know. That's the thing I don't know off the top of my head, so I'm not sure if it would have been the rat fail or the rotter fail, but somebody would have failed something.
I've restarted my client in the hopes that I can get back into the game.
Fed is over. Cancel Fed, because he's got can predict the dice. Is what we're saying. I mean, theoretically, you could predict the dice, but you'd have to play a game that involved something like 600 consecutive dice rolls that you recorded all the results of, then did a bunch of weird math on, and then you could predict the rest of the dice for that game. But that's going to have to be a lot of dice in one game to get you to that point.
All I'm seeing is that Remisset is writing some sort of slash fic where Lumi and Fed are colliding in bed and rolling around. I don't know. It's all very inappropriate.
So Superfed collided with Lumi, but Lumi can't get out of bed because Superfed's there now?
I don't know, really. It's a lost cause.
Well, the Mighty Blow Claw guy stays out for the Nurgle, which is slightly annoying. I mean, he's not really that relevant, but he's 3 SPP away from leveling, so, like, considering the game is lost, you probably try to just level him, because blocked Mighty Blow Claw is certainly a lot better than Mighty Blow Claw. So that's unfortunate that he's out, because you probably would have tried to level him. The rats are just down the 1 loner right now. They have 10 otherwise, and Superfed is in a weird setup.
Yeah, well, this is the Nurgle saying, come at me, bro. I'm gonna just go all mans on the line and see if I can force a fail out of you.
Yeah, pretty much.
So, did you comment on the KOs? I didn't actually. I wasn't
I did. They're back except for the one.
Yeah, well,
killer.
Unlucky then. Again, unlucky for Acropolis.
Yeah, not unlucky in that he would be that useful, but unlucky in that he's 3 SPP away from leveling, and considering the game is over, you'd probably just focus on trying to level him. Because blocked Mighty Blow Claw is better than Mighty Blow Claw, and he's 1 Kaz and a Vanity Pass from leveling, so...
So we're going to start the turn with a 1-die, which is Fed's favorite thing to do. A push is not good enough, though. Must be said.
So
I guess we're gonna blitz this rotter to get a 2-die out of it. Never mind. So we're gonna blitz with the wrestle piece to get a 2-die on this rotter, to get a 2-die on this Nurgle warrior, to get a 2-die on this Nurgle warrior. Yeah.
It does super base. However, the way that it rolls those dice is with a particular random number generation procedure that we understand how it works. And it's not like it's the sort of default one in Python, I believe, which is a Mersenne prime twister. And I can get into it if you want, but like the long and short of it is it's random enough for a video game, and it's no one's going to be able to tell the difference between it and not random, but it is theoretically like crackable / predictable under the conditions that you record several, it's like 600 and something dice rolls. Like if you know 600 something results, you can start predicting the next ones because you know how the formula works that generates the numbers, regardless of what the seed is. But
gotta say, Fed's block dice have been a-okay. While you were talking, the rats somewhat predictably punched a hole through this line and piled on a Nurgle warrior.
Didn't get anything
for it though. Gonna get a boot for it probably. No DP on the for the Nurgle, so not the scariest thing. But he might have wanted. No, he was never going to get a good foul on Don Dawson. So we're going to base up the tackle with the dirty player. And then I imagine we're going to pick up and hand off to maybe the 2 heads piece and try to level him. We don't need... The one-turner is already, good to go. He doesn't need any more one-turning skills, so...
Yeah, he's got plus movement, and then he's got the 1 stat, and then the 2 normals.
Rats. I still don't have a plus movement one.
Well, you have 4 rats, and you need to get, a 10. So you'll get
I am
one.
statistically owed one. I just haven't gotten one yet. Ooh, failed catch. Will we see another snake? No. 1 and a 2, though. Would have been one of those 1 and 9s that Acropolis was looking for earlier in the game.
Yeah.
So we can position...
Are we in... We're in... Yeah, it's the Nuffles altar, right? He changed. Didn't he used to have a Wizard Stadium? He's had a Nuffles altar for a while.
I think Fed always had a Knuckles altar.
Oh, okay.
So
But he didn't get to use it this
an option
time.
here if you want to be extremely picante to block the Beast Free. I think your only hope here is block the Beast Free, blitz the movement Gutter Runner,
and then put the beast on the 2 heads guy.
double GF. Ooh, rats injuring themselves on dodges. Name something more iconic. Yeah, double GFI the beast onto the ball is literally your only chance of winning this game, I think. And even then, it's a hell of a long shot.
It is Schuttenheim. It was going to be now, but normally we watch one game from the week previous in our recaps, and Superfed was like, we're playing our game right now, so we figured we might as well just cover it live because we might as well. But yeah, we'll be looking at the results of last week and predicting next week after this is over.
Yeah, but who's going to do the... I guess he's not doing what I said. You would have had to do the blitz with this wrestle piece.
You could do it with the block tackle Pestigore if you want to roll dodges.
Tackle Pestigore is based, so...
Yeah, it doesn't mean you can't do it. You just have to do dodges.
Doesn't want to double GFI. This is why Nurgle lose games. They're not willing to roll dice.
I mean, even if you did that, though, it wouldn't have been that difficult to push him off.
You could have gotten the guard Rodder into a position where it made it really tough.
I don't know. You would have had 1, 2, 3. I'm too lazy to work it all out right now, but especially with the strength 3 Gutter Runner, I'm pretty sure you could have at least 1 die blitzed with the beast on the ball, assuming he didn't armor break the movement 10 Gutter Runner. If you just knocked him down, you stand him up with a loner assist, then the ball carrier who's already marked. Right?
Hey, look, all you've done here is dictate that your block tackle piece is going to be the one that gets it. Now, that said, I guess you don't have a great piece to do the blitz with. You can get an assist here. Well, you can just block him, actually. For no dice, you can get a 2 die with the 1-turner.
I mean,
then you score, because...
Well,
you can bring the guard Rodder in, which would make this harder.
You could
do a single GFI to put him below the ball.
Yeah, and I think you need to, because right now you can 2 die blitz with the ball carrier and then just score.
You don't even need to do that. You can just, if you use the Agi as an assist and this loner, you can just 2 die with the 1-turner, which is
the Agi, yeah.
There, so that's what you wanted to do to make that harder. Now you can...
I mean, so you can try the... Oh, well, actually, no, you shouldn't, because that would be your blitz.
You try the tentacles to see if you can get the assist out from the Gutter Runner, but that's it.
Mm-hmm. And he's not out. So you blitz you blitz the ball through the Rodder now, I think. Or you can blitz with the Agi guy as well.
Yeah.
I keep forgetting he's down. I keep forgetting he's down there. But this
is not good enough.
better. Like, and this is better because he would have gotten like the free 2 die on the block tackle guy if you didn't put the rodder there, and now his only option is the 1 die blitz.
So this is actually going to be a little tough. He's going to have to agify. Oh, what's he doing here? Because there's no assist.
3 2+ dodges.
Probably not.
I mean, you could also uphill the block tackle guy, but that's not great. No, that's you'd have to dodge. I mean, you could stay where you are. You could just run back. Like the gutter runner can just get out of range of anybody useful by like going straight backwards.
He can't outrange this Nurgle warrior.
He can if he rolls GFIs.
Can if he does 2 GFIs. Yeah, that's true.
But if you're gonna do that, you might as well roll the 3 2+ dodges to just.
Though you can't outrange Don Dawson from a chain push though. Again, there's a really easy chain push, obviously, with either the.
Oh, we tried the leap.
We're going for a leap assist. So now we're going to do a 1 die without a reroll.
Yeah. But that's good enough.
Yeah. Yeah, this was like reasonably safe. 2 2+. Or well, the block was technically a 3+, but.
So it was a 2+, 3+ instead of just 3 2+, which is what the dodge would have been.
Yeah, and there was tackle there, so that was definitely the correct move.
Yeah, I think so.
So
too.
very good for Fed. If he had failed anything there, I don't know if he would have lost. I honestly don't know if the Nurgle can score even twice, let alone 3 times in a drive.
I don't know if the Nurgle can score once.
Yeah, but he would have been pretty based and would have had a. Oh, the leap was GFIs.
So the dodges was just better then.
No. 3 3+ and a 2+ off tackle. Or no, 2 3+.
They're all 2+. He was 2 heads.
Oh, those 2 heads. Yeah, the leap was definitely.
They were off.
Or the dodges were better.
They were off tackle, but you had a reroll and there were 2+ versus like the.
So yeah, he did 4. He did 4 2+ instead of 3.
And none of which in any case would have been rerollable.
Yeah, none of them had rerolls. Period. So rather do 3 2+ than 4.
Yeah, because it was 2 GFIs. So
his 4th was a 2 or a 3 or a 4, so it worked out.
I mean, not really. It's 1 2+ better, which is not terribly significant, but it is theoretically better.
What do we say about 1 2+ better, Ben?
It's technically correct. I don't know.
Do you not remember the Super Bowl?
That wasn't 1 2+ better. That was a reroll better, right?
No, it was 1 2+ better. It was the difference between Toast Guy being the winner and Sage was 1 2+.
Oh.
1 he rolled 3 when he could have rolled 2 and he'd lost because of it.
Yeah, but he only rolled 3 when he could have rolled 2 because he just queued up actions and didn't do the 1.
So,
if it was like the dodge didn't trigger, the dodges would have been better, but he didn't wait to see what happened because an extra reroll for the rats because that's what they needed. So yeah, he's got the 28 of 31 SPP guy back there, so he's just gonna try to vanity pass with him like 3 times and then call it a day.
Had 2 heads gutter, had to go on the line and suffers for it.
So on the one hand, this game was over like 6 turns ago, and I kind of want to do other things, but on the other hand, I want to watch the rats die. So,
well, the rats use their Apo, so you might get your wish. Armor break coming out onto the 2 heads gutter runner means that Fed had to burn his Apo and is now naked in the wind on turn 10.
Well, he's fine though. He got better. The rat isn't actually hurt.
But I mean, there's nothing else to protect the.
Yeah, but I mean, Superfed is just going to take the rats and put them in the corner, right? Like this game, like the Nurgle are just going to sit there and fail pickups and then fail vanity passes, and then the rats will run away, and that's going to be the next 6 turns of this game. Although he might go for a touchdown because a touchdown.
He's going to go for the touchdown because a touchdown works, and that's much more likely than 3 consecutive vanity passes.
I mean, yeah, he could have also gotten 1 vanity pass and then a Kaz, which isn't terribly difficult with Mighty Blow against Armor 7, but...
So far, not going great. One of those injuries, well, two of them were blocks, one of them was a failed dodge, so...
Nope, he's got...
No pressure on the rats to speak of right now, but that's expected.
Oh, he just put them back.
Now the Nurgle are going to slowly walk up the field while Fed probably gets out of his way.
Yep.
So far, 0 dead
Boring.
monsters. I mean, we can just get out of this and go to the recap if you want.
Well, I mean, on the one hand, I kind of do. On the other hand, I really want to see if any of the rats die, because, you know, dead rats is a good thing.
The Rat Society. That's oddly specific, Super Base.
I would imagine it's because he's playing him next week and he doesn't like the piling on tackle juggernaut guard rat.
Yes. I had guessed that as well. But again, I appreciate your inability to detect sarcasm.
Mm-hmm.
Little box of rats.
Yep.
I think you foul line rats here for the random hope of a dead one.
Yeah, you get a rotter out of it.
A free rotter.
Well, move the ball up.
Put some token cage around it.
I mean, why? Like, you might as...
Because if Fed... well, I guess he doesn't have a good blitz right now anyway.
No. One, he can't reach the ball, and two, if he does start moving forward to go to the ball, that's a faster way to get hits. Like, the Nurgle don't care. Like, the game is over. The only thing they want is one touchdown on that killer and then punching more rats. So, like, if they do, like, a super safe, like, move the cage 4 squares forward every turn, Superfed is just going to sit in the corner and not do anything. But if you, like, leave the ball a little bit exposed, Superfed might just run through, and then you get to punch them, which is something. And who cares if he picks up the ball and scores again, right? The game's already over, but maybe you get to hurt a rat.
Well, the only thing that Acropolis is trying to get out of this is a leveled killer, which is extremely important. So I think he very much wants to score here.
Yeah, he does, but, like, it doesn't matter that much if you don't.
I think it matters a lot.
Eh.
Like, a leveled killer for block or tackle or something here is you know, enormous. Probably block. I mean, some crazy person would go piling on, but probably not.
He would just sit. I mean, Superfed's just going to sit in the corner until the Nurgle are in range, and then he's going to run to the other corner. And the only way he goes forward is if it's a very clear I can escape this way path. So as long as there's like some Nurgle in the way, he's not going to like cage dive.
It's impossible right now for the for some of the pieces to get safe.
He's just got to pick which ones he cares about the most.
That's what calculations we're watching. Which
rat do you love the most?
I did the Mighty Blow, Tackle.
And why is it Carter Cruz?
Chaos Warrior thing, because I had a match against rats, and then that killer proceeded to roll 0 Defender Stumbles the entire game, so I'm a little biased.
It depends sort of heavily about what team you're going up against.
Goes for a spicy 1-die here.
If it's a team with a lot of dodge but no block, then block and tackle are like basically equivalent in terms of knocking things down. Not in terms of your opponent dodging off you, of course, but you would probably take block there because it's going to be better versus all the other teams you play that season. But if it's like a team that's mostly blodge, you might want that tackle in there. Well, we try to dodge at a rat and we get nothing.
I think we're finally getting the rain we've been promised.
I know it's the right thing to do because the game is over, so you might as well keep your good players alive. There's no point in not doing it. But I really just want to call him like Super Jimmy Fantastic right now. But no, it makes 100% sense. The game is super over, so you might as well just keep them alive. It's just, boring. Squish, 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 squish. No, roll the double GFIs, put him in there, just so that he can get Claw Mighty Blood next turn. We're going to need some more assists down there if we want to make that not a Claw Mighty Blow hit. Although we might do it uphill anyway. Because block is a thing that you have, and the beast does not. Although we still have, so we have 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We can still make it a 1-die. Unless we need another player in there somewhere. That'll do it. Now it's not a 1-die. Or it can't be a 1-die. And it also puts tackle in a place where the rats might have to like dodge past if they want to run the other way, but not necessarily if they want to stay along the touchdown line. Oh, Shadorra's just gone. I don't know when that happened, but he left. He does this to me all the time. You know, leaves me alone. I'm the one who does all the streaming work, and then he just, you know, gets up and leaves whenever he feels like it. Never lets... Steakmittens never gets a break. Only Shadorra gets breaks. How inconsiderate. And he doesn't watch these anyway, so I can say whatever I want. He's coming back, so I should probably stop talking now.
I had to go close all the windows before rain started coming in.
That is fair. We can no longer get a 1-die on the Beast of Nurgle with the Claw Mighty Blow, but we can uphill him and we have blocks, so... sure. Might as well run the 1-turner to as safe as he can be first. Then it's probably better to uphill the beast than it is to just dodge the Agi guy off, because the tentacles is going to be hard. If you're trying to get him safe. Although, if you uphill the beast, then you get Mighty Blow clawed in return next turn. But I think you're more concerned about the... if you just fail the dodges, you do anyway. So I think the better thing is to uphill the beast. I mean, yeah, if you fail, it's Mighty Blow, but it's not Claw Mighty Blow, and it'll be...
I mean, he's armor 7, so it doesn't matter.
Amy Brooke, yeah, you're right. Irrelevant. Well, then I guess you might as well dodge him rather than anything else. But it's going to be hard to get that gutter runner off of him, so... Yep, there's the uphill. And we get it.
Oh, actually it gets a knockdown, and it's with the Mighty Blow. It's not with the...
Not the Claw Mighty Blow.
Yeah.
I'm surprised he didn't
break armor?
take the...
Oh, but I think you pile on here?
Yeah.
Actually, I don't know.
I was going to say, you probably would have you should have taken the stumbles so that he would have had to follow if you wanted to pile on. Because you just pile on here. Like, fouls don't have Mighty Blow.
Oh, yeah, totally.
I would have taken you should have taken the stumbles, not the... Because then he would have had to choose to follow if he wanted to pile on, and he probably wouldn't have followed not knowing if it was an armor break or not, but he 100% piles on here because it's just the safest place to be. You could uphill with the Claw Mighty Blow, or you could dodge him out, but you probably dodge him now that there's no tentacles, because the floor doesn't have Mighty Blow.
And I think you just let that sit. Oh, you don't. He's blitzing.
Oh, he was 100% gonna pile on if you didn't take the since he took the both down. If you took the stumbles, and then Superfed would have chosen to follow if you wanted to pile on, and if he didn't follow, he's still on the tackle piece, and your beast doesn't get piled on. Well, I mean, we're fouling a thing now.
Which though?
The armor 7 one, because more chance of getting a free rotter.
Goes for a 1. Oh no, it's a 2-die. Horns.
Well, it's right, strength 3. I was gonna say it's a 2-die because it's a gutter runner, but that's the strength 3 gutter runner. Yeah, move our cage forward. Like, Superfed is just not going to contest the score. You can just move it to the middle of the field. And then stomp on the armor 7 rat, probably. More likely to get a removal, more likely to get a free rotter out of it. And the Claw Mighty Blow is scarier than the other things. Against your good pieces, the warriors and the beast anyway. full on cage in scoring range with no dice rolls to make. Here comes the foul. Kill him. Aha!
Fed is not allowed to have claw muddy blow.
No, I was just badly hurt. Well, now you take your gutter runners and you like run them up the side of the field, away from the cage, and away from the tackle pieces. Although I don't think you can get. Yeah, you can because there's fucking gutter runners, and you don't really care if they fail GFIs, because the floor doesn't have mighty blow. And that
given that most of his players don't have tackle, I think you'd prefer if the gutter runners did not fall on the ground and make an armor roll.
As long as you're out of range of the mighty blow players, that's true. But if you're in range of the mighty blow players, I think you take the GFIs to not be in range of the mighty blow players.
You're more likely to die, I think, from a failed GFI than you would be from like a POW getting rolled. I mean, I'd have to run the math, but
it's if you stay in range of the mighty blow Nurgle warrior, he can 3-die any of the gutter runners but the strength one, and
sure,
3-die with mighty blow and gutter runner.
3-die on blodge is only for what 40% of the time.
And why would he not reroll that?
I mean, even rerolls only another what 20%.
Yeah, versus so 60% to like knock you down.
60%
versus
to take a mighty blow hit versus a 100% chance to take an armor 7 roll.
It's not a 100. Wait, are you saying failing a GFI is 100%?
Well, I mean, if you fail the GFI, if we're like talking about like considering the reroll.
So it's a 1 in 36 to 100% take an armor, a non-mighty blow armor roll versus a 60% chance to take a mighty blow armor roll.
Aren't we talking about the choice between rerolling a failed GFI, so taking an armor break, I should say,
you have a 1 in 36.
After the ball, the fuck Fed, he takes it.
Okay, just because he hates everyone else. Well, I mean, I guess that makes sense for touchdown differential. He's been burned by that before. But this is like scary because that guy could just die.
Can just die. Fed even got the scatter. Oh, goes for the ground, thinking that's safer. He's right.
I thought the ground wasn't safer.
Then, I mean, that wouldn't have been one Mighty Blow. Well, I guess there's only one Mighty Blow player in there. I mean, there was a chance he got out, you know? It was a 5+ though. He still does have a couple of turns to score, and now has no credible threat on the ball, so extremely likely the Nurgle still get a 1 here. But
so you try to pick up that ball, you dedicate the reroll to it, you get the ball safe, and then you foul the living hell out of that gutter runner.
I think you still foul the Storm Vermin. Gutter Runner's already stunned.
Oh yeah, you foul the Storm Vermin this turn, and then you foul the Gutter Runner next turn, because you still have 2 turns, especially since you picked up the ball. Since you already have the ball, if you had to use another turn to pick up the ball, then you couldn't. But that Storm Gutter Runner is 100% getting fouled next turn.
That Storm Gutter Runner.
Yeah, I was thinking about the Storm Vermin and then the Gutter Runner afterwards.
Oh, I know what happened. Does he base or does he go for the foul assist? He goes for the foul assist.
Oh, yeah, duh. Kill it. Nothing.
5+ rolls a 4.
Yep. At least he didn't get sent off.
If anything was going to induce tilt, it's probably that one.
I mean, I think tilt was induced by like the touchdown on turn 2.
It's true, but when you already feel like you're being diced, and that one really easy thing fails anyway, and you're just like,
of course,
really?
Why?
This is how it's going to be. Yeah. Is he going to try to red die his way out? He is. What a mad lad.
Oh, he's going to get fouled otherwise. Oh, he's going to try to dodge his way out?
No, that was a blitz. He wanted to 4+ dodge 2 die.
Yes.
And then get surfed. And then 3+, I guess, was the play there.
Now
he's just gonna get surfed.
No, he's
now
not.
He's gonna get down. He's gonna get Claw Mighty Blow.
Can't even surf him? Ugh! I mean, you get to Claw Mighty Blow him. But he's fine. So do you score, or do we be safe and then foul the Gutter Runner and then score next turn? I think you do that because you've stunned the...
You kill...
he's blitzing with the beast to surf the ball.
Awesome. If you kill on a surf with the Nurgle's Rod player, you still don't get the player, right? Because the crowd does the killing.
Correct.
Right?
Yep.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Needs to be killed by a Nurgle's Rod player. All right. Well, now you can get the ball safe and then foul the Gutter Runner because he's the only thing that can do anything.
Can we have a double screen or an anti? No, I mean there's no anti. Okay, just don't please do a standard cage. He's gonna come in here otherwise. Okay, he's gonna physically block. You know, they say that bash coaches don't know how to screen, but that's the best damn screen I've ever seen in my life. You know.
Oh, he didn't foul the... Why didn't he foul the Gutter Runner? That guy was already stunned.
Is this possible?
Yes. I mean, it's a lot of dice, but he can do it.
Wait, how many? He's movement 9. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Yeah, he can do it.
6.
You cut corners, but you can one die the ball with like
3+, 3+, 2+.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Oh, he's not gonna do it. It was a series of 3s and 2s, basically. And he has no rerolls and no apo, so I understand choosing not to do that.
No, it was like he could have cut a bunch of corners, which would have all been 2+, and then...
I think he had to go through the Nurgle Warrior to do it. I don't think he could cut corners that well.
I may have miscounted a square, because it was tight. It was like double GFIs to do it the way I was counting, so maybe I missed a square, and it was actually 12. But there you go. 3-1. Acropolis does level his Pestigore, which is pretty nice. The MVP goes to a Rotter and levels him, which is garbage. And the Superfed gets a Rotter or a lineman.
A Superfed. I seriously doubt he buys him.
No. Why would you? He's not even leveled, right? Like, it's annoying that you don't get the SPP somewhere better, but...
Yeah, I mean, terrible game for Acropolis, but it must be said, at least you got the level out of it.
That's true. You can't hate that too much. You would have preferred to have gotten some more injuries for more SPP, but I guess you can't have everything. So shall we... Oops, that's my weird challenges page that I didn't mean to show. Let's drop out of this and bring up the REBBL.net, shall we?
Yeah.
So we can go to... Div 1 to start, I suppose. Oh, I suppose I should get our predictions out as well on the other monitor so that I can see what we had done. Although we don't need to count points anymore because my spreadsheet is doing it for me. Handy.
You can tell when I'm looking at the tipping comp because it's extremely white and my face lights up.
Oh, there's no dark mode for Google Sheets.
I know.
Or there probably is, and I just don't know about it, frankly. So first of all,
like an add-on or something. Yeah.
We had Travel Scrabble versus Toast Guy, Scooby and the Gang versus the Rat Bastards. I had predicted Scooby and the Gang. You had predicted Scooby and the Gang, and we was both wrong.
We was both wrong. The Rat Bastards took it.
They certainly did. 3-1 is a lot. 43 blocks from Scooby and the Gang, so they certainly tried to hurt some rats. They got 2 Kaz and 7 KOs out of it. Although they must have come back. And both Kazas were badly hurt and a smashed hand on a loner, and the badly hurt was just a kick. So nothing super useful. John Oliver, the Gutter Runner, is leveling off of TD, so the Wrestle Gutter Runner can pick up Tackle, which would be nice to have, or maybe Strip Ball.
Minor 49er is also only 1 SPP away from leveling.
He certainly is, and that would be very nice to have. Could go Piling On, maybe Stand Firm.
Piling On or Stand Firm is really the question there, I think. Flim Flam, the hero zombie, ate a movement bust and is probably dead.
Disappointing.
That is disappointing.
Well, we were wrong there, but it looks like the rats were just kind of able to score, and the Necro couldn't quite stop them, and they also didn't get enough Kaz to make it easy to stop them. So
yeah, and the Necro were armor break, or the rats rather were armor breaking quite seriously. They got 11 breaks on 25 blocks.
Mm-hmm.
And 11 resulted in 5 removals. That makes sense.
And
but 0 regens.
Well, Muttley Jr. being the badly hurt that didn't regen is a pretty big deal because that's tackle mighty blow and movement 8 on strength 5, which is like a natural, or strength 4, sorry, which is a natural gutter runner like Hunter. But him going out presumably early is a huge blow to the defensive game of Travel Scrabble there. Muttley 3 can certainly do it, but without 2 wolves, you have 1 to carry and not 1 to blitz, or on defense, you only have the 1 that isn't mighty blow. Anyway, we had Grungy Desserts versus Fellows Quadadol, that is Stouticus versus Not for Science. I predicted the Grungy Desserts sorry, that's not right. Yes, it is right. I predicted the Grungy Desserts, and you predicted Fellows Quadadol, and the Grungy Desserts won. So
they did. 35 blocks, getting 16 armor breaks into 9 removals, including 5 Kaz.
That'll do it.
That'll do it. Anything serious? We've got a dead on the kick. So the strength 2 kicker is fucking dead.
Finally.
The guard Lino is armor busted. Just 1 more red number for Not for Science's team. And MVP going to the thrower, who is badly hurt. Lord Nathaniel Mara continues to be invulnerable and refuses to die.
The armor bust on the guard is kind of annoying because that's a piece that ends up getting based, right? Is guard, but
yep. Outsouffled scored 2 touchdowns, which is obviously excellent, giving him enough SPP to level. We'll see what he
tackle.
got.
100% tackle.
Yeah, 100. Well, or 2 heads. 2 heads is a credible choice as well.
I would take tackle there. Especially since your only other tackle is on 2 Nurgle Warriors. I would much rather have a Raj tackle movement 6 piece to help rather than try to rely on just the tackle of the 2 movement 4 Nurgle Warriors.
Fair.
2 heads is probably an option,
tackle indeed.
I would take tackle.
I would only have considered 2 heads because of the dodge. Anyway.
2 heads is just his next level. Like when he levels again, it's 2 heads. Maybe strip ball, but
very long road to 2 heads, but yes, I agree. I think tackle's the right choice. I just think 2 heads is not a discredited choice.
So we removed the elves and we removed the thrower, who's the way that we get to score pretty easily, and then we just kind of used our strength and our guard to stop the elves from doing much while we scored on the player we wanted to.
Yep, and then we have Voltrex Vanguard versus Dreams of Golden Streams. I probably predicted Fed. What did you predict?
Also Fed.
Look at that.
Fed
won. And he leveled 3 things. Eden Sin, who we just saw, got 2 heads. Megan Rain, who got strength.
As we saw. Was very useful.
And Amy Brooke got Mighty Blow, which we also saw. So, 3 levels, all 3 coming in handy. Actually, I don't know if he used the 2 heads on Eden Sin at all, but he should have at some point. Looks like an even blocking game. Fed aggressively outbroke them, but he does have Claw. No, that probably doesn't make sense.
He has Mighty Blow. He had Mighty Blow.
Oh, he has Mighty Blow, and the Voltrex don't. That's true.
So that's. I don't know if that equals 6 armor breaks, but it certainly makes you'd expect more. And then again, a lot of the elves are 8 armor, whereas the rats are 7. So you'd expect it to be probably a little bit more even, but it's not outside the range of improbability.
Yeah, I liked that first turn Fed. I think it was the sort of reasonably low risk, high reward, extremely high reward thing that rats can do sometimes. It was still utter nonsense. But
yeah, it was
he gave it to you, and we talked about the fact that I don't think he needed to give it to you. So
yeah, it was a boatload of dice, and it was good that they worked because it's incredible. And even if they failed, you should have gone for it because it was pretty likely, frankly. It was just a lot of dice, and
I didn't do the math on the sack part, but I suspect the sack was about a 50-50. It looked like about a 50-50.
And then there's a couple of good moments. There's another sack where the scatter was in the perfect square, other than if it happened to hit a bunch of Nurgle Warriors and they bounced completely out of everywhere.
Yeah, I felt like Acropolis was, especially in the first half, was just really hard going for damage and wasn't.
We said that, yeah.
He wasn't respecting your movement enough. And he wasn't going for damage, and he wasn't putting on pressure in necessarily the right way. Like he was leaving too many players free. Like the whole way you beat rats is by tying up all their agi 3 pieces.
I mean, so what happened is he didn't respect the ball threat on turn 1, and then you scored on turn 2, and then he went, well, screw it, this game is over, I'm going to punch rats, right? Like it wasn't really not respecting it for the rest of the game. It was not respecting it on the first turn that made it a problem. Although he did leave a based cage at one point, which was also, I think, a big mistake.
The based cage, I think, was that's when the game ended.
Yeah. Anyway,
for sure.
We talked about that game because we just cast it. We should talk about the other games.
We should. So yeah, game going well for the rats. Kind of even punching game in terms of KOs out going in and going out. But rats coming up 2-1.
Yeah, not terribly difficult for the rats to come up 2-1 when they have a one-turner. Although he didn't score, so wasn't the one turn that done it.
It doesn't one turn. It's a crutch. No one turns, no wizards.
Then we had Ragedorf versus Broken Bone Battalion, Unseen Walker, and Super Base. I predicted Ragedorf, and you predicted Ragedorf. I think basically on the we know what Unseen Walker plays like, and we haven't seen Super Base play before sort of basis. And
right, well, we did promise to watch this if it didn't look like a blowout.
we should have watched it.
Ragedorf got 6 Kaz and probably didn't win because he's dwarves. So I call that reasonably blowout-esque.
Yeah, they tied 1-1. I think I watched some of this game, but it was very much like on the other monitor while I did stuff, so I didn't really pay attention to it that hard. Furious Dwarf getting 3 Kaz and his legend level, which is pretty exciting. I want to see what we got out of that. Tackle. Well, that's less exciting, but it makes a lot of sense.
It does make a lot of sense, yes.
Makes a hell of a lot of sense, but I was expecting like strength
skills,
or something.
So,
Yeah. All the red skills are done. So
could have gotten thick. Oh, you already
yeah, that's their dwarves that have thick skull.
Damn it. Anyway, scrolling down, you can see that Super Base ran out of team and lost Sore Throat, the block Lino in the process, so that's a big loss. Everything else is, I mean, eating into your bench sucks, but pro elves are cheap reasonably, so you can build your bench up without too much trouble.
So he started turn 9 with 9 players, ended the turn with 6 players, and then he finished the game with 3 players.
He made it to turn 9 with 9 players. That's an accomplishment.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, this dwarf team is like so much money blow. You'd expect the elves to be pretty sad.
It's a standard dwarf match.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. No real permanent damage other than the guard being dead, which kind of sucks. But it could have been a lot worse, especially on like the leveled blitzers and catchers.
I mean, I think that's a pretty serious loss, but
I would have expected it probably to be worse. So it's
I think
it really
would have been happy with any of the other catchers dying, other than I think I would have preferred to have my catchers die, other than the movement one.
Oh, the rookie one, yeah, certainly.
Oh no, I mean even the two, like the Blodge Step and the Raj. I think I'd honestly prefer those dying.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, I mean, it sucks to lose the guard. I mean, although going from 3 guard to 2 isn't the worst thing in the world on an elf team. If it was going from like 2 to 1 or 1 to 0, that would suck a lot more. Anyway, 1-1, so no points anywhere there because we don't give points for ties. Then we have the Gourmet Governors versus Beard to Death. So
I think we both predicted Lark, even though it was Lumi with a wizard, and I watched.
We did not. You predicted Lumi and I predicted Larkstar.
Sorry, I had to take my headphones off because I have an extreme mullet and it's thunderstorming, so the humidity is just making my hair explode. I
was like, what does the mullet have to do with hearing?
Well, because like suddenly there was a lot of hair in my ears. Basically,
you have a lot of hair?
I know, but
extreme mullet. No, what I said is that you predicted Lumi and I predicted Larkstar.
Okay, so I watched the second half of this game. Apparently, the first half was classic Vamps on defense.
Yep.
My headbang, I throw at my neck. I'm old. Wizard fizzled, but was able to sack and score anyway. So like went in his own drive 1-0, and you're like, oh wow, that's really excellent for the Vamps. And then proceeded to completely fall apart on offense because of Vamps.
Vamps, yeah.
The Norse had a really good turn where they put on pressure, where the ball was kind of in the midfield, and Lumi had to kind of make a decision about which way to go. And there was like a good amount of dice involved. He kind of had to potato a little bit, and then the potato was, crushed by the Norse, who were able to get a hold of the ball and run it down. All that frenzy, all that mighty blow just started catching up to him anyway. Fu Manchu actually died in the first half. This legend, or nearly legend, berserker. So he played most of the game without him, but was able to cause enough damage. And Horseshoe Hayes is leveled to probably pick up tackle. So that'll be nice for Lark, and it was a good tie.
Lumi leveled up Kim Jong Uni as well, one of his fourth vampire.
He's MNG'd, but
but he did level.
Nice. Yeah, to have block on him or dodge.
Yep.
He's a dodge first vamp person. Yeah.
Well, you'll look. He has movement actually.
Yeah, that's fair. 3 movement up vamps. They're movement 7. They're as fast as dark elves.
They're way less slow now. I mean, vampires are kind of a slow team. So that's
the problem also with movement up vampires. It's not terrible, but obviously movement up vampires still need to carry thralls around, and thralls are movement 6.
And they also don't get, block or dodge as fast.
That's why Lumi has a movement 7 thrall 5 head.
To keep up. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, losing the berserker kind of sucks, but well, there's another one. It's not like he had any doubles or anything, and berserkers aren't exactly, well, he had dodge, I suppose, but berserkers aren't exactly hard to level, frankly. They are 6 SPP away from being Mighty Blow, Block, Jump Up. We had Volcano and Dazed and Confused, so our friend Acropolis that we just watched, versus the Chorfs. You predicted Volcano, and I predicted the Nurgle, so I was wrong on this one.
Rough start to Acropolis this season.
Yeah, for sure.
At least he only lost Rotters. So this is an induced DP Rotter.
That's what I suggested during the recap last week, actually, too.
I think we did talk about that, yeah. Good amount of Kaz going on both sides. 2 blockers MNG'd, and the
good one, yeah.
The super, but this isn't the super blocker. This is just a good blocker out on a badly hurt. So punching going both ways for sure. Volcanu caused 5 Kaz.
The Nurgle only caused 1, but the Volcanu took 3. So the dirty player must have gotten some work done, which is nice. Or maybe some failed dodges or something, but they're on blockers, so I would imagine dirty player.
Yeah, and the Nurgle took 5 Kaz, but it looks like they regened 3 of them, so 100% of the regen rolls.
Yeah, and the other ones were all on Rotters. We don't care, so.
We don't care. Fuck Rotters. You heard it here first.
Rotters are great, but yeah, they should die and will die. Rotters are highly underrated linemen.
Mongoose managing to take this one out. Didn't get any levels out of it, and he does have a couple of blockers he'd really like to get up to Mighty Blow. So a bit unfortunate, but to be expected. And then we have one last game, which is Bogue Bombers in B-Dog versus the Clicheos in Big Chuck. Clicheos took this 2-0. I think I predicted Chuck would win.
You did, and I predicted B-Dog, I think just because it was the, let's have a divisive one sort of pick. And, well, Chuck just made the humans not humans anymore.
Yeah, that does happen when you hit Claw Mighty Blow sometimes. So yeah, 17 breaks into 6 KOs and 5 casts, 7 KOs sustained, so 1 KO on a failed dodge or a foul, and a kill sustained on a random Lino who took MVP human things. MNG on Rock Davidson, this really nice support blitzer, is obviously unfortunate.
Yeah, and then the support blitzers, and the thrower going out being the injuries means we can't really do nonsensical pass plays. The 2 support pieces, are the only way you stop your team from getting blitzed to death by chaos. So, all the right pieces to get removed got removed. And then, Chuck...
Bone to pick and stupid is and stupid does. Just tore through the humans. And he managed to score on his strength up ball carrier, bringing him 1 TD closer to leveling, and scored on I Smell a Rat.
The Rookie Warrior, which is really nice. Yeah.
I think you probably should have chosen. I mean, I don't know what the game was like. I don't know how much choice Chuck had. I probably would have elected to score on Read Between the Lines, or probably harder to smell on to score on I Smell a Rat twice. But I probably would have elected to level Read Between the
Lines. If it was a typical game, I would imagine that he scored on the Beastman first, because he wasn't as in his favor, and then it kind of became more in his favor in the second half, and like ended up handing off to the warrior. But I don't know, maybe you should have taken it on the beastman anyway. But I don't know.
Yeah,
I mean, both of them are good options, but block on the strength guy would be pretty nice to have. Okay, so do we want to do the second div results, or do we want to do the predictions for this week first?
Let's do predictions.
Oakley dokily.
Or actually, no, let's do results so we can stay out of the spreadsheet as long as possible. Does that make sense?
That's fair. Well, we can pop the spreadsheet up real quick once we do these results so I can show what the standings are like. So we have Marvelous Creatures and Here We Fall. So it's Soul of Dragon's Fire and Fall. Let me get the right sheet open. So I had predicted Marvelous Creatures and you had predicted Here We Fall. So that's one for you.
I did really well in Div 2A, I believe.
And Chuck did so well in Div 1, as we will see. Or Div 2, whichever one he predicted. One. It was one.
He predicted Div 1 because he's in Div 1.
Yeah. But Chuck is, spoilers, Chuck is currently tied for first in the predicting competition without having predicted anything from REL 2.
Good job. You found your calling, something you don't big choke at.
Anyway, so 2-1 to Fall here. Getting outblocked by the Marvelous Creatures, but that doesn't really surprise me. The Dark Elves are a bit bashier than the High Elves
Well, it's also
and Frenzy.
Frenzy counts as double blocks.
So does Fend.
Yes.
And there is Fend on the High Elves.
Yeah, that's true. Well, that would actually you're right. So that any hits on Persian Gate. Does a Frenzy hit on Persian? If a Frenzy hit on Persian Gate, probably still counts as 2.
Yep, no matter what.
Yeah.
If you have the Fend up and choose to use the Fend, it counts as 2. If you don't choose the Fend, he gets 2 blocks because Frenzy. Anyway.
Didn't Lumi say that it counts as 2 regardless of whether or not you activate Fend?
As long as Fend is on manual. If it's not on manual, it doesn't.
If you have Fend on manual, get Frenzy blocked, choose not to Fend, and then take effectively 3 blocks.
I don't know if it's additive or multiplicative in that case. Would it be 3 or 4?
Lumi.
I don't know if he's here. Anyway, so
he is
so the armor breaks. There's more armor breaks for the more blocks. You'd expect that, but probably not 3 more for 6 more. Or actually, no, it's pretty what you'd expect, I think.
Yeah, well, the High Elves also are much lower armor because of the 4 catcher lineup than the
That's
Dark
true.
Elves are, because the Dark Elves only have 2 armor 7.
So the actual results, the Marvelous Creatures took 1 Kaz and 3 KOs. Here We Fall took 2 KOs and 2 Kaz. So a little bit more permanent removal for the High Elves. One of them was Apoed back into the game, though, because there's only 1 down there. Badly hurt on the Wrestle for the Dark Elves, and an armor bust on the catcher.
3 is dead, probably.
Probably fired, yeah.
So that's a game. Next we have Anagram Catastrophe and the Battle Brothers. We were going to watch this one, but then everyone was yelling about Fed, and it was clear that no one was going to watch the stream unless, we put Fed up. So
yeah. And the reason why is because it was 2-1, so probably relatively interesting, and because we had predicted oppositely. So you had predicted that the Anagram Catastrophe would win, and I had predicted Battle Brothers would win.
Right, this is the one thing I got wrong in Div 2.
Yeah.
Rough-ish game for the Rats. It looks like they took a lot of injuries. Their kick and their backup dirty player has been killed, which is a bit unfortunate. Kick is really important on Rats, of course.
Mm-hmm.
Looks like, Caloric actually got outblocked, though again, this is Fend a lot, so it's probably more like it's even, if not the Battle Brothers doing a bit more blocking. But yeah, their Mighty Blow really popped off. 2 Mighty Blow Kaz for Lord Porahwai, whatever, I don't know. And Arthur Pendragon getting 1 himself. Badly hurt on Houndmaster Hubbard, the Strength 5 guy, going down. And an armor break on Sorcerer because Caloric can't have blockers. That's just how his team works.
Only out for this game because of badly hurt. But, Strength 5 Wrestle is pretty good at doing things to gutter runners because it's a 3-die with Wrestle. naturally, which is kind of nice. And yeah, Disciple of Davko leveling with 2 TVs is great, or TDs, because he'll be able to pick up something there. I was going to say something. Oh, right. I am so upset that nobody nominated Uber the Noobers team for the Themework Award and the Rebel Awards. And I know the counter argument to that is, why didn't you do it? And my counter argument is that I forgot to. I think that I love this team. I love the anagrams. It's so good.
Yep, 1 completed pass and 2 TDs to level Disciple of Davgul, who only needed 5 SPP to level, or 2 SPP to level, and he got 7 instead. So that'll be nice. He will have probably sidestep.
Well, we can see he has picked up pass.
Interesting.
That's not a double because Blitzer.
They have passing access in normal?
Yep, they have not strength access.
Only not strength right now.
And that's why you often see them with leader, is because you can get a
true, yeah, because it's a companion get leader. So yeah, good game for the Bretts.
That'll be fun because he's got all the other ones. Like he's got 2 Agi 4 pieces that have catch because they're blitzers. So he's got pass to have a reroll to that, which is kind of fun. And since he's the sure hands dodge piece, he's the one who's going to be carrying the ball most of the time. So now he has the option to just kind of yeet it to one of those catchers pretty easily, or blitzers pretty easily, which is kind of cool. And then we have Orgsploitation Cinema and Talk Show Terror.
Chair stream continues as I get more water. Talk about the necro.
Didn't you just finish your water? Can I get water? I'd love to get water.
You have Emily to give you water, probably.
She's sleeping on the couch.
God damn it, Emily.
That's fine.
I think Tristan is reading on the couch, so
anyway, so Shadorra had predicted Orgsploitation Cinema, and I had predicted Orgsploitation Cinema. So we was both right. A lot of blocks from both sides. 56 to 49 is closer than I would have expected. But Orgsploitation Cinema pulling off more armor breaks because we've got more Mighty Blow, presumably. And also, armor 9 everywhere, and there is just the 1 Claw Mighty Blow piece for the wolves. Orcs taking 2 Kaz and 3 KOs, whereas the Necro took 5 KOs and 5 Kaz. One of them got better, but yeah, this is the Orcs beating the Necro to death and then scoring probably on the Necro's drive after they have, either failed to score on their own or didn't manage to stop the first drive but not score on their own. But white badly hurt, a white with an MNG, a flesh golem with an MNG, and a ghoul with an MNG means Talk Show Terror is going to have a rough next game. Necro are very positional dependent, and you feel so stretched thin once you lose 1 positional. Undead do the same thing, right? Like, a ghoul goes down or a white goes down, and you're like, where are all my players? Even if you're still only 1 less than your opponent, is that you rely so heavily on the positionals to do things. So next match he's going to have 1 flesh golem and the 2 werewolves, which is pretty rough for Our Name is Legion next half. Although, in return, Demi Mork takes a badly hurt and Leonardo Dorcaprio takes a badly hurt, but neither of those will affect the next game. MVP going to Demi Mork, so getting very close to a legend orc thrower, which will be fun. And I say it's 36, but he probably scores sometimes. Sylvester Stallone is getting there too, and that's a bit harder because Black Orc, certainly, they kind of punch stuff. That's their whole jam. The good news about not having any players for next game is that maybe we can get some levels on Wolf Blitzer because he'll probably be doing the ball carrying. But oof, that is unfortunate.
What's that?
That literally every positional except for the werewolves and 1 flesh golem got injured in MNG.
Oh yeah, that is unfortunate, isn't it?
Oh, he has this white. It's badly hurt. But so his positional count as Necro for the next game is going to be 1 flesh golem, 1 white, and 2 werewolves, which kind of sucks, especially since one of the werewolves is a rookie.
Yep, the orcs just
killed them.
Tore this team, yeah. Badly hurt on Demi Mork is bad, but it looks like it wasn't quite enough to.
Nope, it was 1-0 for the orcs. Then we had Urs with the Lackland Longtongues versus the Horn of Gorthank from I Shoot Blanks. So Apparently I had predicted the Lackland Longtongues and you had predicted the Lackland Longtongues. So there we go. Oh, right. I was like, why would I predict that? But it's because I Shoot Blanks' Nurgle team is especially ill-suited to...
Well, it's Chaos, but yes.
Oh, sorry, Chaos is especially ill-suited to going after the super skinks of Urs. So we did get some, like, only 28 blocks shows exactly what I mean, for both sides. And the Lackland Longtongues actually out armor breaking the Chaos, which is surprising considering the Claw. But the Chaos took 3 KAs and 0 KOs, and the Lizards took 3 KOs and 2 KAs.
Yeah, and the Lizards effectively killed a Mighty Blow Claw Warrior. Looks like just a terrible game, like the sort of game where Claw Mighty Blow just doesn't fire and the Lizards just beat the living hell out of you.
Yeah, well, that's what he needed, right? The only way he wins this game is if Claw Mighty Blow fires and you remove all of the Saurus so you can actually chase down the skinks reasonably because you have no tackle.
Yeah. Oh, right. We called it for the skinks or the Lizards because even if he removed all the Saurus, he had 0 tools for dealing with the skinks.
Yeah, so you had to remove the Saurus quickly so that you could start removing the skinks is kind of the only way you could win this. And it didn't work out, and you lost a warrior in the process. Then rookie Beastman.
Rough out there for the rookie skinks, but that was it. So
MVP and a Kaz for that top warrior though means he's 2, so 1 Kaz away from leveling again, which is stand firm or tackle or piling on.
There were only 3 Kaz sustained, so I'm guessing that this warrior was Kaz'd and Apo'd and rolled either. I mean, I assume he was dead and then rolled Strength Bust,
possibly.
Or Strength Bust into Strength Bust, because obviously any other bust is better than a Strength Bust. So
badly hurt on a rookie skink and armor bust on a rookie skink. No one cares, but the Lizards score twice on Garroddle to take that one down 2-1. And we have Rowdy Rebel Rousers, Atomics, and Locust Kosika into the All-Stars of Chaos. I believe we both took the Rowdy Rebel Rousers here, just because it's a bigger Nurgle team versus a smaller Chaos team, and that's sort of mathematically on the side of Nurgle. And we'll see what happens. So, yeah, I mean, well, wait, I don't understand. So the All-Stars of Chaos got 46 blocks to the Nurgle's 22, but the Nurgle got, thank you for the water. The Nurgle got 16 armor breaks off those 22 blocks, and the All-Stars of Chaos got 19 off their 46 blocks.
Locust lost 2 extremely good positional. Well, oof. One is just a block guard warrior, but that's a huge deal. And a strength bust on medium goat.
I do recall seeing him being salty in Discord, and this is probably why, and I understand.
Salty?
We got...
That doesn't make sense.
Yeah, the All-Stars of Chaos took 3 KAs, so one of them was Apo'd, and 6 KOs. The Nurgle took 6 KOs and 2 KAs, but...
just murdered each other, but somehow the Nurgle won.
Well, the Nurgle's injuries got better because regen is a thing, except for the one that was on a rotter, and we don't care about that one.
That's true, but the KOs were still a thing.
That's true, but they could have come back. Yeah. And, I mean, like, straight up removing the only one of 2 Claw Palm on your opponent's team for the entire game is make a huge difference.
Chaos can also struggle against Nurgle because Nurgle are better, are usually better at pitch control because they do have the Beast of Nurgle to kind of back up their Nurgle Warrior line. Of course, this team is missing. Oh no, it's not missing a Nurgle Warrior. It's just way down there for some reason.
Yeah, there's the Beast of Nurgle thing. There's the foul appearance. Like if it stops 1 or 2 blocks during a game, that makes a difference. There's the regen thing, and then there's
a lot
also,
of little things that stack in against
the rotters, right? Just being able to throw 40k pieces you don't care about up against like Claw Mighty Blow to be like blitz this instead of something better. Like it can make a huge difference. So yeah, the Nurgle takes that despite taking way more blocks, but most of them must not have been from Claw Mighty Blow, or perhaps Locust got a little unlucky on the removals. But Atomics takes that one 1-0 MVP on a Nurgle Warrior, and the touchdown was.
I mean, this could have been a classic bash mirror where on each of their offensive drives they just KO'd the entire enemy team, and somehow the Chaos were unable to score, but the Nurgle were on their drive. Like,
so many like Nurgle versus Chaos or Nurgle games are like that. Like your drive, you just ruin them. Their drive, they ruin you, and you tie, or maybe somebody fails something and then they lose. Bring out your Undead versus Ye Old Guard. I think we both predicted Ye Old Guard for this one, and that was just because Bring Out Your Undead is the Khemri team that has no Tomb Guardians with levels. Oh my god. So speaking of Tomb Guardians with levels, we said,
oh no.
Yep. So he was one Kaz away from leveling on the other 3 Tomb Guardians. He got one of them, so I'm Not Dead Yet 4 leveled. So I'm gonna go see what that is right now because I'm excited. He got Guard. So
interesting. You normally go Mighty Blow first in all your Tomb Guardians.
So he's so close to leveling the second one and very close to leveling the 4th one, and the only one with skills got niggled. Oh man. So he's going to be out for his next game, which is kind of unfortunate because this is only Tomb Guardian with levels, and he's also niggled, and niggled decay is terrifying, but you can't do nothing about it because you need that player.
It's not when you fire that piece.
No, never. Not unless he gets like...
He's just going to die.
No,
That's
yeah,
fine.
the only way you remove him is if he becomes dead. Like, double niggled, strength busted, he's staying on the team. Doesn't matter.
So, reasonably even blocks, a little bit more for Yield Guard. Yield Guard getting slightly more breaks. Yield Guard getting a lot more removals out of it. 5-1 on KOs. Even on Kaz, though Kaz sustained, actually Yield Guard took more, presumably because of fouling. Badly hurt on the Beast. Looks like regen was a thing for both teams. Only 2 of the Kaz stuck out of 5 for Bring Out the Dead, and only 1 of the non-regen ones stuck.
So I think this is frankly pretty well done. Like, I think Bring Out Your Undead is kind of happy with a tie out of this game, considering that Nurgle.
Well, they're not happy with the niggled Tomb Guardian, I'm sure, but other than that, yes.
Yeah, but I mean, like, considering he did get niggled, you would have absolutely, if it was early in the game especially, you would have absolutely expected this to be a loss. So I think it's well played, I guess, for...
Nurgle are great at losing and tying games.
They certainly are.
Like, completely independent of their opponents.
I know very well. I mean, that's not independent of me though. But Nurgle in general, yes. But I do know the feeling.
Some people joke that like rats are basically like rats with the wizards are like roll a 2+ to win the game. I feel like Nurgle are often like roll a 3+ to not lose or like not tie.
Yeah,
just because there's so many opportunities for your team to just fail itself.
Yep.
Anyway, CR boys,
Nurgle are annoying to play against, but they're not very good, frankly.
Yes. Well, depends.
I mean, if they're like 2,500 TV in a bash mirror, sure.
They're pretty good against Agi at that point too, but yes, they can always fall apart on their own. Nashville Nasty versus the Tarot Alliance. Slade taking this 2-0. I don't remember what I predicted here.
You predicted
Apparently
Slade.
I predicted Slade.
And
Slade,
so did I.
39 to 49 blocks. So coming out a little bit on the Chorf side, but not as much as I would have expected given this matchup. He might have done a lot of basing. These Chorf Necro matches tend to get really hairy in my experience. You end up with like a lot of
and not just because of the werewolves and the Chorfs, am I right? Okay. Cheney was in this one, which
I don't know if my mic was sensitive to pick up my deep side.
It was. It sounded more like a like nose exhale, the sort of like
that's what it was actually. So it was a nose.
It was very much like the that's funny sort of exhale people do when they type lol. That's what it sounded like. Yeah, that. So Wilhelm Cheney was on the Necro team, which we did, I think, suggest, but it turns out it was not enough, as there's nothing that happened to these Chorfs.
Oof, and he lost a white out of it.
Yeah, dead white, frankly. I mean, he has Dauntless, so the Strength 2 isn't that bad.
Yeah,
but
it must be said, well, I mean, there probably wasn't. It's really hard against this much guard to make good use of your Claw Mighty Blow because of the frenzy.
Mm-hmm.
So this is what often happens is like, sure, the Necro made like 39 blocks to 49, but they only got 8 armor breaks. Some of that's probably variance, but a lot of that is probably just like making non-Mighty Blow hits against armor 9. Like it turns out armor 9 is a thing sometimes.
Yeah.
So they, in response, took a lot of damage for that. They did get, on 10 breaks, they got, on well, 8 breaks and then 2 breaks from fouling and dodging. They only got 2 KOs and 0 KAs, so that was a bit of a thing. A bit of variance in the armor rolls, certainly. And the injury rolls, I should say. But yeah, 5 KOs caused, 7 KAs caused. The Chorfs just pitch cleared the Necro, it looks like.
Not quite pitch cleared, but they certainly did a lot. And Slade, you're not allowed to boo my jokes. You spent all playoffs showing up to playoff streams, typing terrible jokes in chat. You cannot boo me. I'm allowed to bad joke too. Thank you very much.
The Devil, best Chorf blocker in the league.
So good.
Getting 2 KAs. Rest of the blockers kind of rounding that out with a KAs each, other than Hierophant.
One, and then the 2 TDs coming on the movement Hobgoblin, which is nice because he'll want to be the ball carrier, and he just doesn't have ball carrying skills right now. But 4 more SPP, and we can get like sure hands, and then block and that kind of thing.
Yeah, good game for Slade. He needed
really good one for Slade.
He didn't get any SPP on the Emperor Reverse, which is who needs it the most right now, but that's fine.
I think Slade prefers they them, by the way.
Oh, my mistake.
You can correct me if I'm wrong, Slade, but I think that's correct. Yeah, really good game for the Chorfs. Frankly, so much SPP, and unfortunate for the Necro. Yeah, Slade prefers they them. And since that's all those games, right? That's 2A done for results.
Yeah, boy.
Okay,
God, that's so bright.
I'm gonna bring up the super bright tipping comp screen.
You can see how it lit up my screen, my face, just like you hovering it over the screen for a second, and now it's about to light up like a flashlight.
On this, I'm sorry about that. So here's the current scoreboard, given the results of that last week that I've been entered. I have not. There's a couple things I need to fix. One, the sorting doesn't work. I need to fix that, and I need to fix ties, because right now there'll be results that don't show up. The reason for that is those are tie results, because if I put anything in that box, it thinks you got it wrong, rather than it just being a tie. So I need to fix the scoring formulas before I can make that work.
Yeah, I actually can't have the stream and the sheet up because it's so bright it looks just atrocious.
I know.
So I'm gonna have to put the stream away and not see chat for a little bit.
Well, so I'm gonna fix that, and I'm gonna fix the sorting at some point, but I haven't gotten around to it. The point is, we'll look at the scoreboard. REL 1 only. Big Chuck currently in the lead with 5 points out of that week, and then for us in particular, I'm at -1 and you were at 1 for REL 1. And then in REL 2, both of us tied with 4 points, and Atomics also got 4 points out of that one. And for
is there any reason you have the scoreboards so far apart that they can't quite fit on one 1920 by 1080 screen?
Because I use a 1440 by I use a 1440p screen, so it looks fine on mine.
It's such a piece of shit.
So I forgot that other resolutions existed.
I'm looking at this, and the combined scoreboard is just slightly cut off, and I'm like, fuck you.
It's because I have a higher resolution monitor, and I built the sheet, and I forgot that it was that resolution. So I can fix that too. Let me add that to the to do. Shrink scoreboard. Shrink scoreboard for pleb monitors. And then for those of you who are predicting both, so just adding these two scores together, that leaves Shadorra tied with Big Chuck for first, and Big Chuck is tied for first, having not predicted anything in Div 2 because he got Div 1 so correct. So well done to the two of you that are currently leading this. And unfortunately, Cheese is kind of not doing real well right now.
Excellent. Did you also add on the to-do list to highlight the worst person in each div?
Oh, I can do that too. Well, I only have
that's conditional formatting. You could literally do that in 2 seconds.
I could. I only have highlighting the best right now is because it's a solution for the sorting not working well. And I promise you it's not me being dumb, right? Like if I sort this, it breaks. I need to Uber added a thing, so I need to copy his scores in there too. And the reason for it breaking is because of the formula that I invented to pull the sheet names out of the sheet.
Did Uber just happen to have the exact same score as Urs, or did you just fuck that up?
I did fuck it up. No, it's fine. He happens to have the same score.
Okay.
Anyway, so that's what that looks like. So we'll get out of the super bright screen now. So after week 1 of 2A, we have Terror Alliance, Battle Brothers, Urs, And in Div 1, Superfed is tied with these other teams in first because he has played this game for this week. Now we have to do predictions, and I'm going to put this on the other monitor so that I can fill in my predictions as we do them. But 3 games have been played apparently.
In Div 1?
Yep. We
predicted one.
Yeah, we
watched Feds.
Yes.
So.
We watched Feds and we predicted that ahead of time.
I also predicted Super Base versus B-Dog because I saw they were going live. So I
did not notice because I was at work.
I did ping, but
I don't look at Discord that frequently when I'm on.
Winning games Slade gives you TDD.
Pretty much.
Turns out when you lose, you often. I mean, winning 2-0 is a big deal, right? Most Agi teams don't. That's a pretty strong win from an Agi team as well.
So many games are going to end up ties where there's no touchdown differential or 2-1, which is only 1. So we have Volcano and the Rat Bastards. So we've got the 1900 TV Rats versus the 1780 Chorfs. The reason why the Chorfs are 1780 is because they're missing 2 blockers for this game, which is a pretty big deal because that's 2 tackle down. This feels very ratty to me. There are, 4 tackle pieces, 3 of them are Mighty Blow, but frankly, if the Rats are playing right, that's going to be 3 LOS blocks, twice a game.
Yeah, so they are going to be carrying on the Bull Centaur.
Not the Hobgoblin. Not the Hobgoblin?
No. Oh, yes. Well, I mean, given what your opponent is doing, you might want to run on the Bull because
probably actually
depends on how safely you can pick it up. But the Bull is much harder to knock down than the Hobgoblin.
The Chaos Dwarves actually get 120k in inducements. So you probably just bribe. I mean, you don't have a dirty player, but you want the bribe to be able to punish the rat diving and that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I guess.
And there's nothing else that helps.
No, it's probably just a bribe. Or a spare hob, maybe. They could get a DP hob instead. I consider that.
Yeah, maybe.
Instead of a bribe. Just go hit the key stuff that it's going. But yeah, I think that's the Rat Bastards.
So the nice thing about this sheet is that we can fill in our own predictions and you don't have to write them down anymore.
I do like that, yeah.
So I'm filling in mine, you can fill in yours. So we had Beard to Death versus Clicheos. So we have Larkstar versus Big Chuck. 1960 for the Norse, 2080 for the Chaos, so that is 120 for the Norse. Seems bribey considering we have a dirty player.
How many? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Larkstar is good and organizes his team in a reasonable way. Larkstar has a 4-man bench, which is very nice.
Yeah, big deal.
That's the way you play Norse for sure. Is going big. Chuck has. A 3-man bench, I think, if I can count right.
I have the wrong thing.
Yeah, he's got 14 players. So that's going to be an interesting game. They're going to murder the shit out of each other. The Palmer on Stupid as a Stupid Does is going to be really important. Of course, Bone to Pick is relevant here.
Yeah, most of the Claw is not relevant, interestingly enough.
But it is for Old Dutch, the Block Claw Mighty Blow Yeti.
The problem is, if you ever get him too far engaged, he's just going to get Claw Mighty Blowed in return. And it's pretty easy to get him engaged with sort of Frenzy and all the Chaos players. I don't know. This is so I think there's the Claw is kind of wasted from Chuck, but the Tackle is kind of wasted from the Norse. I think Chuck probably has this because I think this Norse team is much better suited to beating up Elds than a bash team. There's 2 or there's 4 guard, which is certainly.
He outguards Chuck.
Yeah, but not outstrengths.
Not outstrengths.
And the rookie Berserker is not going to be super useful.
Yeah, if he had his old Berserker, I think I would be really confident in this. Do you want to become famous? Buy followers.
Oh, do we have a bot?
We have 2 bots.
Oh, 2 bots. I can ban 2 things.
I banned Conster Gaming.
Oh, I was going to ban that one.
No, I did it.
Well, thank you.
I'm the best mod.
Thank you.
Now I'm going to ban Captain Rand for being a spammer.
You timed him out for 10 minutes.
Can you undo that, please?
I
did it. There we go.
That was aggressive.
It's Rand. It's fine. I know who he is.
Okay. So we need to pick this one. I think. Yeah.
What are you doing?
I think I'm gonna take Cliché-os, but like I don't know. It's hard to predict this. It's kind of hard to take this one, considering like Norse are so snowbally, and if like they snowball well against the Chaos, they will just win this. But it's also very easy for it to go the other way. The Broken Bone Battalion versus the Bogue Bombers, we cannot predict, or at least I cannot because I missed it. I think what we're going to try to do is predict ahead of our recaps and then just discuss our predictions so that we don't run into this situation. But we forgot we could do that because we didn't have the sheet before. We're very professional and we've done this a lot. I can prove it. I have all the recordings from season 8. This is when we started.
Yeah, he was posting photos on the admin Discord proving that I'm a vampire, and I did not appreciate that.
Yeah. So then Fel was Quaddadal versus the Gourmet Governors. Also cannot predict. Then we have Scooby and the Gang versus Ragedorf. This will be a fun one. 1730 for Scooby and the Gang and 2080 for Ragedorf. So we get 350 for the Necro, which is quite a bit. I mean, Cheney, Bribe, all options. We have both werewolves, which are kind of the important pieces against dwarves, frankly. I mean,
because he fired the white.
He did.
He fired what's his goddamn name?
Minor, or no, he has minor for the Top Cat.
Top Cat. Fired Top Cat. So yeah, there goes all of his TV. That's a good time to do it, I think. Yeah. Kept him around for the rat game, but not for this one. This is going to be really hard for the Necro, I think. The Super Wolves are definitely going to be important and clutch to winning this. He does still have 3 guard. He doesn't have the rookie. He didn't buy a rookie flesh golem. So he is going to have Cheney, and he's probably going to have I think he can do Cheney and a wizard, right?
Probably.
Like Cheney's 250 or so.
He has 380.
That's 1980. No, he'd have to spend... No, so he couldn't do Cheney and a wizard.
He could if he spends like 20k, but he doesn't have 20k. I think you take the wizard, frankly. I mean, the dwarf removals, sure, great from Cheney, but like not that important.
Wizard bribe, maybe. It's hard to use a wizard against dwarves because they're just going to get so up in your face. Or not a wizard, bribe against dwarves.
I think the most important thing is the wizard because as we've seen with Travel Scrabble versus Bash teams before, Muttley the Third and a wizard can win him the game, like by themselves.
He's only got 1.
So that's going to be the real thing, right? Like the question is, can Unseen Walker get through his bench? Can he control Muttley the Third, and can he like defend against the wizard well enough to stop Muttley the Third from just being like my ball now score? Or even if he scores in his own drive with movement 8 and then uses the wizard to stop the dwarf drive, this could very easily be like a 1-0 kind of game. But if Unseen Walker can either control Muttley or defend against that wizard well enough, then I think the game goes to Unseen Walker. So like it comes down so hard to like the one, like, you know, the joke about rats or whatever, right? Like roll the 2+, win the game.
Yeah. So what do you pick?
I'm going to take. That's hard. I think I'll go with Ragedorf because, you know, if we have to rely on that one really good turn, it's pretty easy for that one really good turn to go wrong.
I took the one with Agi 5 and a wizard.
That's fair. I probably would have too, in other circumstances. We have Grungy Desserts and the Voltrex Vanguard. I mean, so we just saw the Grungy Desserts beat the living hell out of one elf team. Do you think they can do it to a second one? I think the answer is probably yes, because this is an elf team without a one-turner. So I like the Grundy Desserts.
Sorry, I'm busy going mad with power.
Will you stop like randomly timing out my viewers, please?
He made a bad joke. You got timed out for it.
Oh, I didn't see the joke.
Yeah, you can still see the message. It's fine.
No, because it was Captain Rand that made a bad joke, not Slade, and then you timed out Slade.
No, Slade redeemed a highlighted message. I wanted to tell a yoga joke, but it was a bit of a stretch, and then I timed them out.
I don't see the message anymore.
Okay, all right. I'll stop deleting people's messages, I guess.
That would be nice.
That is a little rude.
So do we think the elves get something stupid, right? They get 600 TV. Like, I'm too lazy to calculate that, but it's a lot.
It is a lot. I mean, this is the sort of game where, like, I think the Nurgle ought to win it, but things can go wrong for Stauticus because they're Nurgle. Like, the Nurgle can lose this. I don't know if the elves can win it.
Yeah, that's I think Nurgle, every game that Nurgle plays is like, it's there, like they can lose it. It's pretty easy to lose things as Nurgle. But I mean, there's the one strength catcher who's certainly useful, and then there's the agi catcher who can do a thing, but it's going to be really hard for him to get the ball off the Nurgle, like run away from the movement 8 piece. Like, these are high elves, so like the Claw Mighty Blow is actually doing a useful thing. I think I take the Grungy Desserts here. And then we can move on to 2A.
I'm going to pick the Grungy Desserts, but I have such a feeling that Ramesset's going to win this.
I feel exactly the same way about the Rage Dwarf and Scooby and the gang. Like, I want to pick Rage Dwarf, but like, I know in my heart that somehow Travel Scrabble is going to win it. Like, I don't know what the feeling is. Didn't you? I did, but it's the exact same thing that you just did, but for a different match. Where like, I picked Rage Dwarf, but like, I have this like sneaking suspicion, you know? So we have nothing in this one, so we can predict all of them.
Yay.
Marvelous Creatures versus CR Boys Natural Nasty. So we've got Dark Elves versus Necro. The Necro get 440k.
It's going to be a constant refrain, I think, for these tiny Necro. This is going to be an annoying match, I think. There's so much blodge step.
There are 2 tackle, and one of them is on or 3 tackle, but one of them is on a zombie.
So there is 1 tackle.
2. There's a werewolf and a white.
Oh, sorry. There's 3 tackle. You said, right?
Yeah, but one of them is on a zombie.
Well, obviously, Matchy is the player to watch here. But with all this blodge step, it's going to be a little annoying potentially to get blocks. I think a lot of the time this matchup is favored. The Necro is favored in this matchup, but
that's fair.
They're going to be down a white.
And
they don't have
Agi 6 Sure Hands Leap Blitzer. Kind of good.
Kind of good, yeah. They are going to be against a wizard and Cheney and bribe and whatever
they feel like they want.
Probably an induced dirty player zombie, something like that. What's the Dark Elves bench situation like? They have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. They have
0.
No bench. 1850, no bench. I think I like Soul for this, but I could easily see the Necro pulling this out.
Yeah, it's kind of hard. Like, the inducement game is like, whether the inducements are effective or not is kind of the biggest thing here. And it turns out most inducements are sort of designed in that way where like they give you a fighting chance, but not like flip the game, other than like, Wizard on Elves or like some of the crazy star players. But you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's hard to predict considering so much of this game is going to be about inducements, but like, I think I just got to take the Elves. So then we have Tarot Alliance, so it's Slade and Ran Them Mad, Bring Out Your Undead. So we get 2 coaches in here. Fight! So the Khemri get 310k or 410k?
That's a different Rand.
Oh, different Rand. God damn it.
That's the rookie Rand.
Right.
There was a 1-2 Rand off, and Rand lost.
So the Rand played Rand and Rand lost. That's what you're telling me. That helps a lot.
Yeah, Rand lost
and Rand won.
Yeah, I know. That's what I said. Are you not listening?
I was. I just don't understand the result.
I'm talking to Rand, not you.
Which one?
The Rand.
Which one?
The Rand who won.
Real Rand.
I like the.
Yeah. So
I mean, I think you would feel good about this match, period. But yes, down his only good Tomb Guardian. I think that this is shortfall all the way.
Yeah, he's missing. Wait, it just says he's niggled. Why is he? Shouldn't he be gone? Or is that like a regen thing being
Was he
weird?
already niggled?
No, because they decay, so he should have gotten 2 niggles in his last, or 2 injuries in his last game. He should have gotten 2 niggles.
It might just be a display error on this.
Yeah. So assuming he's down at Tomb Guardian, that gives him yeah, but if it was a badly hurt niggle, wouldn't then niggle give him an MNG?
Yes, theoretically.
Because he's decay, right? So he gets both of those. I think this might be a display thing. Assuming it's a display thing and this Tomb Guardian is gone, that's 3 Tomb Guardians and only one of them is with guard. Slade is going to check for us, so that answers that. So he's going to have not that much strength to try and deal with the Chorfs. And the Chorfs are just going to wreck skeletons. Like, Mighty Blow, Armor 9, block versus not Mighty Blow, Armor 7, not block. Like,
they can also just red dye Tomb Guardians.
Yeah.
Very reliably.
Yeah, and then, the Bull Centaurs are going to be able to chase down the Strip Ball is going to be really good against everybody who isn't like the Throw Raw. But if Throw Raw ever doesn't have the ball, like, the Chorfs are going to have a pretty easy time putting it on the floor. Khemri get inducements, but like, what are they going to do with a wizard? Like, they
he is MNG. It's just a visual bug.
So they great, the Khemri have a wizard. They can put the ball on the floor. Next step, pick it up. That's even harder than putting it on the floor was. So I think that it's probably Chorf favored.
Yes, that was.
Especially with that Tomb Guardian out, like him not being there is a huge deal. The strength is what matters, and they're not going to have as much as they'd like. So
the 1940 Nurgle versus 1820 Chaos. I think the Nurgle are going to win.
I mean, that's probably a fair statement.
They are a small Nurgle team, and they are carrying an Armor Bust and a Niggle. Their best killer is Niggled.
Although we did lose the killer from Locust in the last week, right?
And a Chaos Warrior.
So he's got 3 Chaos Warriors. 2 of them are Claw Mighty Blow, though, which is very good. He's still got a Strength Mighty Blow Claw Beastman, so he's got the 3 Claw that is sort of important, right? That's your 3 LOS blocks. That's pretty much all he has. He's got a good ball carrier. This basically the same amount of Claw Mighty Blow as the Nurgle do. The Nurgle have 4 Claw, but one of them doesn't have Mighty Blow. 1, 2, 3, 4 guard versus 2, 3. I think it's tighter, certainly. Like, normally you would just see like the bigger Nurgle team might pick Nurgle, but I think it's a lot tighter because of the.
Yeah, I think I'm changing my vote to Locust.
I don't know which to pick. Like, I think I could toss a coin and be happy. So the out of the desire to make things spicy, I'll take Yayo and the Nurgle. But I think I'd be happy if you flipped a coin and told me that was who I'd have to pick. Because they're both pretty similar teams, and Locust has a couple extra things, like the Agi 4 Strength 4. We have I Shoot Blanks and Atomics. So we've got a 2190 Nurgle versus a 1430 Chaos.
Wow, okay. Sorry, I Shoot Blanks, but that's not a game. Jesus. I don't even know what you do with 800 TV as Chaos.
Apparently, I already put this prediction in.
You were just like, nope.
I mean, you have 2 Claw Mighty Blow and nothing else versus this.
And then we have a 1740 Lizard team versus a 1330 Necro team, which is actually a little bit more interesting to talk about.
It is,
right? But this is the Necro team with 0 positionals now.
Yeah, I mean, so it's the Necro team that doesn't have a team going into the next game. Frankly, I mean,
Versus bought himself a Crocs again, so now he has all of his positionals for the first time in a while.
Hooray! I mean, so the good news is he has the werewolves, and the Mighty Blow Tackle Werewolf is like the thing you want in this match, certainly. Although not having one of the 2 Flesh Golems is a bit annoying against Saurus, and the whites are also pretty good at being useful against Skinks. Like, this game is basically 2 werewolves versus a bunch of Saurus, and it's 1 werewolf that does most of it. I mean, the good news is we can take a wizard, we can take Cheney, and that's 3 werewolves, which is a pretty big deal. Yeah, I don't think it's as bad as it could have been. Like, if this was against a different team other than Lizards, you'd be a lot sadder. But I think it's okay as is. Like,
yeah, I still think the Lizards win that. But yeah.
I agree with you, but it's not like immediate write-off like it would be against a lot of other teams. The werewolves are going to be useful. Cheney can be useful. You're not ideally as Necro, you're not going to get into a huge like sort of punch war in the middle, and you're not going to have to deal with the Sauruses too much. But I mean, if First plays well, he puts the Sauruses in good places, and they're good skinks. So I think it could have been a worse option for
yeah, for sure.
For
I think
Arnim
Necro Lizards are like the best matchup for Necro, if not like one of the best matchups for Necro. So
Shooty
Anagram Catastrophe versus this is gonna be interesting. 1570 Ubers Skaven versus 2000 TV Orcs.
Yeah.
So Agi 5 Sure Hands means that Strip Ball is worthless. Doesn't matter. Oh, they actually do have Strip Ball, but it's also Dauntless Tackle.
Wrestle Tackle, so. Dauntless, yeah.
There's a Strength Up Ball Carrier, and there's a Natural One-Turner. Lizards, or the Rats get Inducements. The Rats have a Claw Palm. The Orcs have the ability to make the Rats broadly sad. There is no Mighty Blow Tackle Palm. Actually, there's not a lot of Mighty Blow, period.
No,
there's one
there's
Mighty Blow Tackle.
Two?
There's two, yes. I think given that, I like the...
I do too.
I like the Rats.
Yeah. I mean, so the Black Orc has Mighty Blow Tackle, but I mean, that's going to be, frankly, if the Rats are playing well, that's going to be like 1 to 2 blocks a game. Otherwise, he's just going to kind of be in the cage while the Rats run away. The good news is the Orcs have, 4 strength 4 cage corners with guard. So like the Rats aren't getting the ball off of the Orcs other than using a wizard. The bad news is the Rats get a wizard. So that's like, if they can only get the ball off you once with that wizard, that still means they win 2-1, right? So
yep, they only get it once. And then we have Battle Brothers versus Here We Fall.
Also interesting.
Pretty even game. 1640 elves versus 1720 Bretts. So the high elves are going to get 80k. They could spend 20k of their 40k to get an Apo babe, double babe bribe kind of thing. I don't think you go bribe, obviously, but
look at 2B, Slade. It is a nightmare. It is a bash nightmare.
Too brutal again? It was too brutal last season.
Yeah, it's let's just like
no, stay on task. Goddammit, this is
Chaos, Necro, Nurgle, Orc, Nurgle, Norse, Orc, Chorf, Chaos, Dark Elf. Oh man, it's awful. All right, I mean it's only long because we watched a live game more than anything else.
It is, yeah, and Fed had to decide how to pixel hug most effectively.
60, so 80k for the elves, which isn't a ton. It's not wizard range or anything. It's babe, pretty much it, because he doesn't have much bank, so he's not going to want to spend anything. So we're not going to have anything other than a babe, I would imagine. We've got the thrower, and we've got the good catchers. The movement 9 is certainly a useful thing for the elves to have, and the strength 4 blitzer is going to be a big deal too. The Bretts are pretty good against the elves though, right? There's a Mighty Blow Tackle. They've got some Agi 4, strength 5, guard.
Yeah, no, I think I like the Bretts here.
I do too, considering the elves don't get much in the way of inducements. So that will be our predictions set up for next week. We will endeavor to get our predictions in and then just explain them for later weeks so that we can actually predict games even if they've already taken place by the time we do the recap, because we will have looked at them ahead of time.
It also probably means that we'll predict different things more often.
Potentially, but like we can discuss them and potentially change them during the show if the game hasn't happened yet, but just for the cases where they do happen, I'd like to get them in before when that happens.
Makes sense.
So thanks everybody for hanging out. I hope you like week 2. We'll be looking at casting a non-live game probably next week, and maybe aim for something from Div 2 because we watched Div 1 this week. But feel free to send us a message on Discord if you think your game is worthy of watching. Like if you want us to take a look at it in particular, we'll probably listen to you, because otherwise we just pick one that looks fun at the time of recording. So we're very easily influenced, if that's what you're worried about.
Yeah, no one messaged us last time, so we watched. Like, if literally one person had sent me a PM that was like, "I thought my game was cool," we would have watched it.
Yep,
100%.
So we'll be doing that next week. Do more predictions. I'll make some changes to the sheets, ideally. Thanks everybody for hanging out. Hope you enjoyed it. Also, feel free to let us know when your games are scheduled and stuff. I know Div 1 people often stream their own games because there's a lot of streamers in like sort of Div 1 and Div 2. Slade streams his games, Lumi streams his games, that kind of thing. But if you want me to try to cover your game, I'm happy to try to do it. I just need to know when they're happening. So feel free to let me know if you want me to try to cover them, and I can see if I can pick them up during the week. But until next Thursday, I think that's been us. We will see you for week 3. And until then, I'm in Steakmittens.
And I'm Shadorra.
And we will see you guys next week.